can I have another wine?
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
If you want it, just come get it.
A Giggle Gang podcast.
Just be myself.
For fuck's sake.
You know, sometimes people pay me to say ridiculous shit, and sometimes I just say it for free.
Jesus Christ.
You're listening to the Giggle Gang podcast.
Started like getting like my dad picked us up and my dad was speaking and they went, I'm not gonna lie, the whole time I could not understand a thing your dad said because he's like harsh Scouse.
Are you from Liverpool?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were from Liverpool.
Yeah.
This is
Where
like...
did you think I was from?
I don't know. England?
England. Just the general vicinity.
England.
I've had
was a
Wales
safe
before.
bet.
I was like, Wales?
Wales?
I can't do a Welsh accent.
How do you say beautiful?
Beautiful.
Oh, you almost say, because like Welsh people, they say beautiful.
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 I can't do like
In
accents.
the valleys.
I can't do like accents though.
I can only do a Welsh woman's accent though, like, because I've only ever met Welsh women, or like whenever I've met a Welsh man, I've not listened to him, you know what I mean? But like I had a friend called Demi, and she'd be like, my name's Demi, and I'm from the valleys. I'm from Port Talbot.
It's
Like,
comfort.
yeah.
Do you want me to tell you a really bad accent story?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Cracking.
Go on. So I was in college and we were watching, I think it's called Ghost by Heinrich Ibsen. It's like a play.
Oh, no, not the film with Patrick Swayze where they're doing the pottery.
No.
Oh, right.
No, it's like completely different. Like this one, like one of them dies of herpes, like a complete different story.
Wow.
Yeah. So
One of them dies of herpes.
I'm pretty sure it's herpes. I don't know, I just looked it up on SparkNotes because I really didn't enjoy the play. Anyway.
Sorry, what's SparkNotes?
So SparkNotes is like when you can't be bothered doing the actual work, you go on SparkNotes and like, for example, like To Kill a Mockingbird, right? I understand why it's an iconic book, but I've hated it.
I've never read it.
It's shit. Like the plot's in the last like 50 pages and the rest of it is just like Scout just being like, oh, there's something in a tree, report it. Like if someone found something in a tree now, you call 101. Anyway, so instead of reading the book, I just went on SparkNotes. It just has a summary and all like the key points. Okay. And I mean, I got a high grade in English, so it's pretty good. Anyway, so in Ghost, they all have Scottish accents in the play in the version that we watched. So the teacher was like, okay, we're going to read the play. And someone was like, oh, can we all do it in a Scottish accent? And I volunteered to say one of the parts. I was trying to do it in the best Scottish accent, and some girl from a class from the other side of the room just went, why'd you sound Indian? And I was like, oh my god, that's not the intention. So
Can you do the Scottish accent for us now?
No.
No, please.
I have a reputation.
What's your reputation? That you're slightly racist towards Indians? Is that your reputation?
It's a woke queen. I cannot be ruining that by trying to do a Scottish accent that just isn't Scottish, because I don't know who it's more racist towards, Scottish people
or Indians.
Indian people.
People from Central Asia.
It was shocking. And then I tried to do who was it when we went to the Fringe? So I tried to do a friend, Kerrian, is from Wales, like her first language is Welsh. Ooh. So I tried to do her accent. I kept going like, how was that? It was just shocking. It's just bad.
Do you want to have a go at my accent?
Right, I've been watching a lot of Lunatics.
Okay,
so,
that's good.
Yeah, so not really.
Was that it? Was it you saying not really?
No.
Oh.
Not really.
Not really?
G'day.
G'day?
It's not bad.
Not bad?
Not bad. Yeah.
It's not good either.
It's not good. It's not. I just shouldn't, like, I should just stick to the north, really. Like.
Well, I feel like you're probably in a difficult position, but maybe in the same position that I was in, because when I moved from New Zealand to Australia, I had to learn an Australian accent at about 12. Now, bear in mind, my voice was breaking at the time. I was going through a period of transition anyway, so it was okay to sort of, you know, have my voice drop and then be like, now I'm Australian. Yeah. You know, and
is it like overly different though? Like, is there a big difference between New Zealand and Australia?
So this is my voice now.
Yeah.
And then a New Zealand voice would sound a little bit like this, Or, you know Cam McLeod?
No.
He's got a New Zealand accent.
I do.
So, like, he sounds, like, slightly different to me, but, like, still a little bit the same.
Yeah, so it's, like, faster and a bit more. Like...
Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I don't know how to slow it down. I can't do Cam's accent, but definitely, like, there is some differences for us. Like, if me and Cam McLeod were talking, you'd be able to hear the differences.
Yeah.
But again, it's probably a little bit harder. But you had to change your entire voice from female to male voice.
I mean, I didn't really have to change it. It was like, because being on testosterone, it's an effect of testosterone.
Right. Okay.
So like, whereas with people who are going from male to female, estrogen doesn't raise your voice.
Right.
So that's why you'll find usually with them they have surgery more.
So you're saying that you had an easier transition?
Yeah. Much easier. I think in general, it's my opinion that it's easier to be female to male or FTM than it is to be male to female MTF, because I think in society today it's more accepted for women to be masculine and for women to be butch. So to go from female to male, it's easily more acceptable because, for example, like, women can wear pants and wear male's clothes, whereas it's not like that for people who are male and want to wear dresses. So if you go from masculine to feminine, I think it all falls under that, like, embedded sort of patriarchy that, like, you're trying to go against the patriarchy, where it's like, you're already in a superior position as a male, why would you want to transition to female? Whereas I think for me it was like, oh, you're in an inferior position as a female, but now you're transitioning to male.
It just makes sense. That's a logical path that every woman would want to take, isn't it? Because to be a man is the best.
It's the best thing. But, like, I do think it's easier. That doesn't mean that, like, and I think trans women and, like, people who are, like, male to female are so strong for doing that, because it's so difficult to be, like, I've seen how difficult it is. I don't know, because I'm not that, but that's why I just think they're so strong, like, to be who they are in society. But I feel like, because so my voice dropped. I can show you my voice before if you want.
Oh, yes.
I'll put it near the microphone, and then
he's brought his own audio recording.
I brought my own audio. So I did. This is like.
Are you going on to Snapchat? Oh no, just the screen is really yellow. But it's what's wrong with your phone?
So it's a blue filter. So before I was saying I had two swollen up nerves.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where I was literally like, as a result, I was like shivering in bed with like loads of like blankets and stuff on me. I was like warm, shivering. Okay. Haven't like disassociated and stuff like that because my eyes were hurting that much. What? So to kind of help the pain, I put the blue light filter on. So I can literally, it's really good. So I can literally.
I've got that on my phone as well. Yeah. But it doesn't seem as extreme as that.
Well, you can turn it up and down. So like I can.
Oh, I didn't know. How do you turn it up and down?
Literally, just go like that.
Hang on, because I've got it on. Yeah. Do you hold it?
No. So if you where it says blue light filter, just press that bit.
Oh my goodness! You've just changed my entire life.
It's good because if you go to bed, it's supposed to be for like going to bed. Because blue light keeps you awake.
I'll just have it on all the time.
Yeah, that's what I do, and then I forget it's on, and I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, where is it? Where's my? This is all just.
This is a breakdown of Ben's old voice.
I'll do my voice one day on T because I think when you're pre-testosterone, I feel like when I did it, because I sat on the toilet doing it as well. I think I tried to make my voice sound deeper so I could be like, oh, I'm already there. Yeah. And then on my one day on testosterone. Oh. Hang on. It's just loading.
It's my voice one day on T.
Do it again.
This is my voice one day on T.
Oh.
So that was like one day on testosterone.
So how much testosterone are you having? And are you having Reandron injections, or are you having the testo gel? Or
I'm on the gel.
Okay. So the gel on the upper thighs, yeah.
I put it on my stomach.
Okay.
So it's called. I'm on Tostrin, which I think is like, I don't know. There's like loads of different types in. Yeah. I just got put on Tostrin. So I put it on every night. I think I do 4 pumps of it each night. Wow. I just kind of rub it on. And it was dead funny when I went to the Fringe and I was sharing a bed with my friend Charlotte. Yeah. And obviously I do it every night. Yeah. So I was doing it and she went, "Is that your testosterone?" And I went, "Yeah." She went, "All that from that?" And I was like, "Yeah." What can I say? It's incredible. So yeah, like it's just gel. I'm really bad with needles as well.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. Like, I went to get a blood test the other day, and obviously because I got my septum pierced, and then I've got 2 tattoos, and I had the Emla cream on, and I always do it in my hand because, again, when I had the issues with my eyes, they tried 5 times in like my elbows and couldn't get a vein. It was horrible.
Ugh.
So
I hate needles as well.
Yeah, can't stand
I can't
it.
like it.
So when she was like, I was like, I'm really bad with needles, and my dad was like, you've got a piercing and 2 tattoos, and I was like, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
And I was literally like breathing, like heavy breathing, trying to calm myself down.
What does your tattoo say there?
So that one says you will be found.
Oh, and what does that mean?
So I got that to mark my 1 year on testosterone.
Okay.
And it's from a musical called Dear Evan Hansen.
Okay, I don't know it.
Oh, it's incredible. It's amazing. And basically the song is You Will Be Found, so it's basically about feeling really down and low, like you'll never sort of rise up from anywhere, and then, you know, something comes along, someone comes and supports you, and even when, you know, you're going through dark times, you'll come out of it.
Okay.
Basically. And then I got this one the other week, which is a pink triangle.
Okay.
With a little equal sign in the middle, because I thought, why not jazz it up? And that's just basically a symbol of like queer resistance, so...
Queer resistance?
Yeah, queer resistance.
What are you resisting?
Everything.
Okay.
You heteros, that's what we're
This is quite a common thing that I find, and I get differing opinions from different groups and different queer groups as well.
Yeah.
So there's 2 lesbians that I work with, right?
Yeah.
And one of them was like, oh my god, Pride every year, I've got to have it off. I love the parade, I love everything about it.
I already see that problematic because she's called it a parade.
Yeah.
It's a march. And like...
Okay, that might have been me instead of... That might have been me saying
but
parade instead of march.
A lot of people still do it, and a lot of the sort of like gay community still do it. They're like, oh my god, I love the parade. Look at all the colours. It's like, it's not a parade, hun. It's a march. Like, we're still marching because like... For me, I can't give blood. Yeah. I can't go to certain countries without being deported or killed. Like, there's so much... Like,
what's the giving blood?
What's the what?
What's the...
So, like, gay men can't give blood.
Right, okay.
They have to wait, like, 3 months after having sex.
But you don't like needles anyway, so...
I know, but let's... Right. But let's say I did like needles.
It's for all gay
Exactly.
Men. I get it.
It's for all the other gays.
That's your get out of jail free. People are like, Ben, why don't you donate blood? And you're just like, well, I am so gay I can't.
I am such a homo that they don't want me in there. And like, it's like... But you'd have to wait 3 months after having sex. I can't even wait 3 hours, let alone 3 months. So like, it's not happening. And it annoys me because people, like, especially Manchester Pride, it's so consumerist now, and it's so sort of about this celebration, and Ariana Grande was there. I'm sorry, she shouldn't be. Like, and you have to pay £75 for a ticket this year if you wanted to go see her and Cheryl. But
who's Cheryl?
Cheryl Cole, I think.
Oh, right.
But it's now Cheryl, because, you know, she just, like... She can't decide on a name.
I thought it was just like a woman from like a chip shop that was just like hanging out with Ariana.
At this point, she might as well be. No shame.
I'm interested in your opinion because then there's another lesbian who is a more butch lesbian, let's say, than the other one that was like, oh my god, the march is so amazing, it's my favourite part, right? The other girl is just like, I don't know where the fuck we need like a parade in the street. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why it's relevant for us to like walk around and be like, whoa, look at us, we're gay. Like, we've already got our gay rights. Like, we've got gay marriage, you know. And she was like just completely anti it being a gay woman herself. And I was just like, I don't really agree with either of them. Do you know what I mean?
I think for me, it's like I would rather we marched in the streets, because especially like in Liverpool, and like I'm from nearest St Helens, which is like in between Liverpool and Manchester.
Big rugby town.
Yeah. And there was a point over summer where I got the bus into St Helens to do some filming, and I looked very queer. Like, I present quite, like, you know, camp and effeminate, because I can. And it was the first time since moving to Manchester that I properly felt unsafe.
Yeah.
Because of it being such a rugby town, so there's a lot of masculinity.
Okay.
There's not much sort of LGBT representation in the same way that there is in Liverpool and Manchester. So it was really hard. It was like, oh my god, like, people are going to look at me and think, what is this massive queer doing in our town?
And this is your hometown.
And this is my home. Well, this is the town that I'm supposed to feel at home in. This is the town that, you know, is a 20-minute bus ride away that I should feel a sense of belonging to. So it's like, for me, like, I like having that march because, especially in places like Liverpool where, you know, it's not as bad, but I still don't feel as safe. I know that seeing people around me supporting me knows that if anything was to ever happen to me, I've got this many people on my side.
People behind
yeah,
you.
Exactly. And it's like, I think that's really nice. I think it's just a nice reminder to us that, like, things have changed. Like, because we don't see it often, that, you know, you don't see immediate change happening. And I think it's just a really nice reminder to think, like, okay, I can march down this street, you know, with my trans flag, you know, maybe, you know, not wearing a top, just wearing my binder, and people are going to be like, okay, cool, like, you know, you do you, boo. And it's like, I need that. I understand some people don't, and that's fine. If they don't want to, you know, be a part of that, then that's cool, that's their decision, but it's something that I think is important, definitely.
Absolutely. And I think it's important for it to be able to happen, for the streets to be shut down, and for whatever, the same way that I agreed to a degree about the Extinction Rebellion having Deansgate shut down and that same sort of thing. People that make the differences of, you know, all the queers are able to close down the street, but these people are trying to protect the climate, and they're not allowed to do it, or vice versa. And we care about the planet, and all they're trying to promote is disgusting gay sex. Like, you know, you could have these two differing arguments about both, but realistically, you've both got something that you're proud of or that you're fighting for, and why should you not be able to express that and have people take notice by shutting down the city, not shutting it down, you know what I mean, but making an impact, and almost the inconvenience of having it for some people be like, oh, well, you know, there's a lot of people here, you know, they're doing a march, and it's making an impact.
Exactly. And I think it's like, I just think it's so important that people do take notice, and that, you know, like what you're saying, that, you know, the streets are closed, and that there are, you know, places that are like cornered off, that, you know, you can't get through because there's a march happening in front of you. I think that's so important, because it's like what you're saying, and it's that visibility as well, because you might see something go past. It could be, like, for example, I've marched with scouts a few times. You could see the scouts go past and be a scout yourself, and, you know, you could be a closeted scout, you could be a scout who's never, you know,
are we talking about the same thing when we talk about scouts? Like Boy Scouts? Boy Scouts. Okay, I did Boys Brigade myself.
Oh. Right. No. Boys Brigade, there was one Boys Brigade unit that I was aware of in our town, and you never saw them. Like, never. Apparently they met in the church, but there was just like one ratty poster, like, that looked like it, you know, when you teabag stain something in primary school, it looked like that. And so, like, I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. And I never have. So, but, like, you could see, like, the scouts and be like, oh my god, this is an organisation that I'm a part of, that is showing their face, and it could change something for some people. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's your opinion then of the people that are at Pride every year, the religious folk that stand at the end of the march screaming at people, you're going to hell and all of that sort of thing?
I love them.
You love them?
I love them.
You love them?
I think they are one of my favourite parts of Pride.
Okay.
Because, well, I mean, they're at more Prides than me. Okay. And they're at Pride more than me. So I think that says something. And also, like, what I really love about them is that they're such a small group. And, like, especially in a...
Because I've not seen them, but I just hear about them.
Oh, they are hilarious. They're just, like, they're so small. There's about... Maximum I've seen is 30 in one group. But in front of them, you will always get Christians that say, like, you know... Like this year, for example, you had them down at the bottom of Deansgate, and they were, like, cornered off in this, like, fenced area like animals, which they basically are. And in front of them was a banner, and it was like, Christians love you. And I think that was so powerful, because I think it's like, you've got this tiny group, yet you have this...
So hang on, who are the group? Are they not Christians? What are they?
No, they are, well, Christians in quotations.
Okay.
But they're not, like, you know, it's like... It's one of those things where you can't preach that God loves everyone.
They love you, but they want you to stop being gay because that's against the
no,
Bible.
so like the people in the back are like, oh, you're going to hell, like this is bad. The people in front are like, Christians love you, like you are who you are, God made you who you are, like God loves you,
right,
and things like that.
So are they a part of the same group, or are they two separate groups?
Two separate groups,
right? Okay.
Which is like, I think what makes it really good. So
there's the Christian, and then there's the anti-Christians that are like, because homosexuality is against in the Bible, like it goes against
how
the
you
will
read
of
it. So it depends how you read it. So
okay.
If you look at original translations, the verse that everyone uses that says "man shall not lie with man" has been read as like a man lying with a boy. So like, you know, paedophilia. It's been read as a man like verbally lying to another man, like not telling the truth. So the thing is with the Bible is that there are so many different interpretations, and like I studied it for a little bit, like doing a GCSE in RE, so I'm an expert. But there are that many interpretations that I don't think anyone can really say, oh, this is against the Bible, because it's like, okay, that might be against the Bible, but wearing two different fabrics together is against the Bible. So honey, even though that cotton and polyester looks terrible anyway, you can't wear that because that's against the Bible. Eating shellfish, bye-bye to sushi. Like, you're not eating no sushi in the Bible. And there's so many other things that are against Bible teachings, but for some reason being gay is the thing that people focus on. Like, why are they not campaigning outside Yo Sushi? Like, why are they not, you know, going to, like, I don't know, Urban Outfitters or New Look and being like, this is wrong? No, it's just that they're targeting a group of people. So it's like, it just annoys me because it's people just pick and choose what parts they take part in.
What I find is interesting, right, because I come from a Christian family, right? I was brought up in a Christian home. I went to church every single Sunday until I was 18 years old, right? And then no more church for me, right? And all growing up, right, my parents were just like, it's bad to be gay, it's bad to be gay, it's bad to be gay. Like the entire time growing up, and I was just like, well, it's bad to be gay. Like that was all I knew. You know, if you're gay, that's bad, right? Then my mum got invited to a gay wedding. Okay, and it shook the family, right? It shook the family to its very core, because I think it was someone that she worked with, or it was someone that was close to her that she like knew they were a bit gay, but like she was like, you know, he does him, I don't have to see it, like he's just my friend, I don't have to see him with his partner, you know, it's just not something I have to be involved in. He's just an individual, and I never get to see any of the gayness that goes on outside of this room. And then it was like gay wedding, and she ended up going to the gay wedding, and then she came home and she just cried heaps about it. She was like, the most beautiful thing I've ever been to in my entire life. And then from that day forward, there was no more gay as bad. It wasn't saying gay is good, right? But it was just, let them just be happy. And it was like, it was that.
Which I think is just as good.
Absolutely. Which, you don't need to be like pro-gay, like, yeah, fucking awesome. But also, like, I don't think I can be friends with anyone that goes to be like an anti-protester, if that makes sense. No matter what the protest is, whether it's the climate change march, whether it's EDL, whether it's anything, even if I don't agree with it, just stay home.
Well, I mean, if you don't, like, I have protested. There was a Nazi march in...
A Nazi march?
Yeah, a Nazi march in Liverpool. There's been a few. And I protested against it.
Where are the Nazis coming from?
God knows. Well, they sent them back on a train to Manchester, so I don't know. They just kind of appear. It is Liverpool.
Hang on. So what are they marching for? White supremacy?
This is during the sort of refugee crisis.
Okay.
Was it 2016?
I'm not familiar with the refugee crisis. Was it mean that there was too many people coming here from Syria?
Yes, so they were saying anyway that like, you know, obviously like refugees were coming and living in Liverpool as well, and everyone was like, oh, we don't like that, and I'm just like, do you know what, hon, shut up. Like,
do you know what there is, right? There's people in Australia that have bumper stickers and t-shirts, that say fuck off, we're full, alright? Which I think is hilarious, because there's 26 million people in Australia, and there's room for about 1 billion more.
That's literally like the UK, like there's so many, like, and they're building more housing, so don't pretend like we can't. And anyway, point being, so I went and protested against it, and I mean, I just stood against them and was just like, you know, just to be part of the crowd. I didn't say anything, I didn't do anything, I just stood there to be like, look, this is everyone against you. Again, a really small group.
Yeah. And was the larger group saying no to them?
Yeah.
The same with when there was a march that they had in Manchester, and the anti-protesters doubled them out like 5 to 1. She was massive.
Exactly. And I think that's fine if you go and don't say anything. You're just showing them. But some of the chants that they were doing, like there was one chant, it was really bad. They were going like, do like Hitler and kill yourself. And I was like, Hang on.
Who was saying that? Your
like
was
the
saying
anti-protesters.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Do like Hitler and kill yourself. And I was like, no, this is. They're just
then it starts to get angry
because they're just stood there with their signs.
Okay.
Which is like, okay, but they're not attacking anyone. Whereas everyone was chanting against them, and I was like, whoa, this is turning really threatening. Like, I don't agree with them. I think they're completely wrong.
You're then standing in the middle, like, which side do I stand?
But, not even that, but I was just like, I'm gonna
that was
go.
That was the day you became a Nazi.
Nowhere near. They wouldn't let me in.
Well, I wanted to ask you because, as I'd said to you before the podcast, I've had Darcy Silver on the podcast who is transgender woman, man to woman, right? I've had Umby Winters on, fantastic, very educational podcast from a non-binary perspective. And the question I always need to ask is, how did the transition come about and where was your support? Because I'd hate for you to say that I just had to do it on my own, really. No one really supported me. That'd be a really sad story.
Well, here's a roller coaster for you. So I didn't always know. Okay. Like, there's always that narrative of, I knew when I was like 5. I didn't. Although I did hear from my mum. She went, I feel like I should have known when there was a princess party when you were 5 and you insisted on going dressed as Spider-Man. I was like, thanks for telling me that now, Rachel. Like,
shout out to you, Rachel.
Shout out, Rachel. But yeah, so I didn't always know, and I think in my I went to a Church of England primary school, which is like Protestant. Okay. So, you know, there was never... I mean, I don't want to say it was ages ago because it really wasn't, but there was no sort of like big thing about LGBT rights and talking about LGBT issues in schools. So it was never an issue, but at the same time, nothing was really gendered. Like, I was never stopped from doing anything because I was a girl. Like, I could kind of just do what I want, which was fine. And like, even in like school plays and stuff, I'd like play men and stuff like that. Anyway, fast forward to high school. Ooh, that was a ride. Because obviously it was a high school which was in between St Helens and Liverpool. So you had two quite strong groups with kind of strong... I'm not going to say strong identities because it wasn't, but they were just kind of strong in their presentation. And like young people around my area are known as being quite like rough, in quotations.
What area is it?
It's called Rainhill. Okay. So it's like where old people congregate. But the young people that go there, because there's no service for them, so no like youth service, no like, you know, places that they can go and hang out, they're forced to sort of hang out in like the parks and the streets, which, you know, leads to all sorts. Anyway, so when I went to school, there was like all these girls who had massive like scouse brows, so like slugs on the fods. You had like...
I was literally talking about scouse brows.
Oh my god, yeah. So they had like, they just had these horrendous slugs on the forehead, and I was like, that's not me.
Did you see the Real Housewives of Scout? What was it called? The Real Scouse Wives?
Oh yeah, I feel like I have seen that.
The Real Scouse.
The Real Scouse Wives.
I'm gonna watch it after this.
Oh my god, I need to rewatch it. But yeah, so you had this group, and then you had the lads who were really either into football or rugby. Yeah. So obviously you had Liverpool, and then you had Saints. So it was one or the other, and I just didn't fit in. And I was like, oh, shit.
You didn't fit in with the lads?
I didn't fit in with anyone, no. Right. So I was like, because I felt myself leaning more towards masculine behaviours, but I didn't feel masculinity in the way that they felt. So I was like, oh my god. So I dealt with a lot, like there was a lot of self-harm that happened. I self-harmed from age 12 to 15.
Wow. How did you know about self-harm, if that makes sense?
I don't think the way I describe it to people, it's like, you know, when you put, like, have you ever done, you know, when you did like textiles in school and you cut in fabric, and you pull it really tight, and then you cut it and it breaks. That's what my skin felt like. So whenever I felt angry or upset or depressed, there was a lot of tension in my body. And if I cut it open, it was like that tension was leaving.
Really?
Yeah, which was how I worked out that it worked for me. And I think it was that that kind of helped, but it got to a point where it became an addiction, really.
So at 12 years old, when was the... let's talk about the first time where you were so tense. Were you anxious, or...?
Yeah, I think there was... I couldn't tell you the first time I did it, because I think... I don't really know when it was, because I did it that much.
Okay.
But there was a lot... It was a lot to deal with, and it was literally that I'd either go in my room and do it, or... I did it in class, I did it in the toilets, like...
And then the aftermath, so I assume you're cutting the arm.
Yeah, so, I mean, I only ever used my keys, so there was never, like, any sort of, like, deep thing.
Right.
I just needed to feel, like, a burn or something.
Right.
Just to feel that tension ripping.
So you would just rip, like, the surface level of
yeah,
the
yeah,
skin?
so I just, yeah, so it literally, like, just rip it, like, just try and scratch it as much as I can to try and, like, feel something that isn't what I'm feeling then.
Right, okay.
And then... So I dealt with that, and it was an addiction, because it got to a point where I, like, even the smallest things that would get to me, I'd do it to. Even though I knew it wasn't something I should have been doing. Yeah. It was like the smallest thing, I felt like I had to do it. I do think...
It's like someone going outside for a cigarette if they've just had an argument or something. Yeah,
exactly. So, I ended up stopping when I was like 15 or 16.
And what made you stop?
My sister found me doing it.
Okay.
So my sister walked in on me, and I was like, oh my God, please don't tell Mum.
And would you... So I can imagine you're there, you've got your keys, you're cutting yourself. Are you, like, crying? Are you, like, loud when you're doing it? Or it's almost, like, silent?
It's sort of silent from what I remember. It's sort of like, I just did it. I think I just needed to feel something that wasn't what I was feeling then.
But it wasn't like crying wouldn't let it out for you. Like, it wasn't like you weren't, like, wailing or anything like that. It would just be, like, silent. It would just be like, shh, and you'd be like... Yeah, that feels good. Exactly. It's almost like someone like smoking methamphetamine. Like, doesn't smell anything, doesn't taste of anything. You just take it in and you just go, life feels good now. Yeah. Or like having heroin or something.
But like the thing is, it never felt good. Like
it never felt good.
My whole sort of high school was a shit show. Okay. Like, because especially like when I turned 14 was when I realised like, oh shit, I might not be a girl. Okay. And it was from then that I began to sort of Google trans stuff and Google what it meant to be trans, and look at, you know, trans people online and see what they were going through. I began to talk about it with friends. I talked a bit with my mum about it, but not to... I just kind of said, because at the time I discovered like being non-binary, so I said that to my mum. I said, I'm non-binary, and she was like, oh, just be you. But being you just meant just be you, like... There wasn't really an acceptance of the non-binary aspect.
Yeah, I get you.
So then I became head girl.
Oh my God!
And it was such...
Did you want to be head girl?
So... This is going to sound so petty. So it's when you're in year 11, so like age sort of 16. Well, you get chosen in the middle of year 10, so when I was 15. And I knew I could do it because I did so much for the school. Like, I did so much campaigning for different things that, like, I knew I'd get it. And the other girl who was going for it, I was in the same dance class as her when I was younger. And I really hated her. She was such a bitch.
What's her name?
I don't want to name her. Fuck her. But we called her Roz because she sounds a bit like Roz from Monsters Inc. You know, like, always watching what's out. She was lit. Anyway, and her sister had it the year before last. Yeah. So obviously she was like supposed to get it, and I was like, oh, I can do this.
Really? So you just went on like a spiteful crusade to be head girl? You were just like, you watch me be head girl, and I'm actually a boy.
So I got it, and I was like, oh, I'm head girl. This is incredible. And this was during my lesbian era as well.
That's funny as
fuck. So I was a really butch lesbian.
Yeah.
And when I got head girl was when I went, this feels shit. This feels really shitty.
What, being a girl?
Being a girl and being labelled as head girl.
Yeah.
And I used to get sent home from school a lot for mental health issues.
Okay.
So like there was one point which I always tell people about, when my cat saved my life.
Okay, I've not heard the story.
So no, some people have, some people haven't.
Turn off now if you have. Actually, no, stay listening. Maybe he might tell it better than he's told it before.
I know Ben's cat. So basically, I got sent home from school one day, and my mum's a nurse, so she came home from the hospital she worked at, and she was like, "Please don't do anything stupid," like, because this is like the third or fourth time I got sent home.
So you were getting sent home because you were
my mental health.
But were you being destructive or?
No. I was just really like...
Just sad?
Yeah, I could not go into classes, like, without having, like, a panic attack or just, like, crying or just feeling like shit.
Okay.
And I was like, please don't do anything stupid, please don't. I was like, I won't. Anyway.
So by doing anything stupid, she mean self-harm? Or, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, she left, and the moment she left, my cat came and sat on my lap and did not leave until someone came in.
Interesting.
It was like he knew that I felt I was going to do something.
Really?
So he just sat on my lap, and I was like, oh my God.
You just stroke the cat, just like...
Yeah, literally.
Stroking the cat always calms you down.
It does, like, and he's such... I don't see him much now, because he like, lives outside. But he's such a sweetheart whenever I see him. I'm like, you're part of the reason I'm still here.
Yeah.
So, I have that. Anyway, so, head girl happened. The head teacher really wanted me, because my school had a college attached to it.
Yeah.
And he really wanted me to stay at the college that was attached to school, but I was like, nah, not after this, because I got bullied a lot as well. I was bullied right the way through education.
Yeah.
And part of that was people were shouting to me like, are you a boy or a girl? And it, like, that stuff like that shouldn't bother me, but it bothered me because I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Stop just asking
call me whatever you want.
Leave me alone. So I was like, I'm not staying there. So I said, thanks for the last 5 years, I'm off.
Yeah.
So I went to the Catholic college up the road.
But
it was the best place I've ever been, and it was the best 2 years I've ever had. So there I didn't come out, I came out as non-binary first, because I was still sort of discovering what being trans meant for me.
So, can I ask you though, because I wanted to backtrack and we just got excited about the cat story, right? When you were 14 and you sort of started to have the feeling of, oh, I think I'm born in the wrong body, and I feel more comfortable identifying with masculine tendencies. Yeah. Before that, did you know anyone that was trans? Was trans like an option or a discussion or anything?
I don't think, it wasn't something that my parents were like, we don't talk about this. It was just, we didn't see anything, we didn't know anything. The only things I had was in my mum's like gossip magazines, where it would say like, oh, I've transitioned, but it was like a really sort of like rubbish story, like the usual sort of trope of like, I was a lesbian, now I'm a man, which isn't true for everyone. So that was kind of the only experience I had. So it was just like, I just never properly experienced that I can be trans, but not the trans that I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. Like, I can be trans and, not want certain things changing. I can be trans and still talk about my past. I can be trans and never be a lesbian. So, I think that's what made it difficult. But when I started, like, looking it up and talking about it, I started discovering a little bit more about what it meant to be trans. Mm-hmm. And no one around me in my school, like, I know so many people who have come out of that school and transitioned, but not transitioned during school. Yeah. Because of the environment it was, and there was no talk of LGBT issues. So that was why I never did it then.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So there was nothing sort of there. But in my Catholic college, which I thought, like, I was like, oh my God, it's a Catholic college, I'm going to get sent straight out. Yeah. They were brilliant.
Really?
Really good. So, like, they had, like, pride flags up in the cafeteria. Like, my PAT, I was like, look, I'm trans, this is what I'm going through.
What's a
like,
PAT, sorry?
Oh, like a personal achievement tutor.
Right, okay.
So it's literally just someone that I go and speak to.
Okay. Like a counsellor, like a school counsellor type thing?
I suppose so, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit like that. And then during sociology, my teacher was like the trans lead for the college, and she did loads of work with like Merseyside police around trans topics.
Really?
So yeah, so
At
I was
Catholic
really
school?
Yeah, so I was, and she was religious as well, and I was really lucky. I was really lucky to be surrounded, and my drama teacher, oh my God, Erina, so incredible, such an incredible, and my media teacher, incredible people. Just like any issue I had, because I had an issue in college as well, where there was a point where I was sexually assaulted by my partner that I was with, and Erina was like the first person there for me. And then my tutor, my PAT, was like, because the person who did it had the same PAT as me, like he was just as good with it, and like I think a lot of that affected my transition. So it was kind of like, because the guy who did it was straight, and he said to me, this was sort of when I was non-binary, he said, he would say to me like, I'll always see you as a girl. And I was like, well, that's not in any way how I want to be seen. So I think it kind of made me discover more that, oh shit, maybe I'm, more masculine leaning.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm a boy. Wow. So I started testosterone in December 2017.
So what was the transition like from I don't know what I am, I'm non-binary, I'm just unsure? Was there like a pinnacle moment where you just like, not where you decided, but when you sort of realized and you were like, I'm a boy and I'm going to have to do something about it. Like, I'm going to have to go and see a doctor. I'm going to have to get on testosterone.
Well, I think, so I, like, do you know what a binder is?
Yes.
Yeah, so I wore a binder from eBay,
okay.
which is like, you shouldn't do because they're so bad for your body. And that was when I was using they, them pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly through sort of 2017...
Can you just explain what a binder is? Or do you want me to explain what a binder is for people that don't know?
So it's something that, like, flattens your chest.
Yeah.
It's
almost like
it's
a hectic bra that doesn't accentuate but yet squashes your breasts.
And it's horrible.
It's not very comfortable.
I hate it. So yeah, I binded, and from about January to sort of June, I started using they and he. So started using them both, and then I was just like, oh, he, him, that's sound. And then around June, I was like, or was it May? One of them. I was like, okay, I need to find a different name to go by. So I started, experimenting with names and settled on Ben. And then was like, okay, but I don't want Ben to be short for Benjamin because everyone has Benjamin. So that's how I settled on Benton. And then what happened was my binder became too small for me, and I literally on my ribs had purple lines.
Oh, so it was like bruising.
Where it was bruising.
Oh.
And at the time, my mum's friends were over, so I had to sleep on my sister's floor, and like I literally didn't leave the house because it was just so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I just broke down crying. And my mum came in and she was like, what? And I was like, my binder's broke, I can't do anything. So she ordered me one from like, the only place you could really get it, one that was like a proper binder was America.
Yeah.
So she ordered me one from America, and when it came, I was just so happy. And then she was like, okay, we need to take you to the doctor now and sort out, getting you referred somewhere to get hormones. Because before that, I was on like the contraceptive pill to stop my periods. And she found out when I was drunk that I was on the pill. Because I lost the packet, and as I was like throwing up, I was going, Katie, my sister, I was going, Katie, found my pill. My mum was like, are you on the pill? And I was like, yeah. And then the next morning she was like, you told me secrets, and my face dropped, and I felt like going, what secret? Because there are so many you don't know.
There's a lot of secrets.
There's a lot. She was like, you're on the pill? And I was like,
I'm a small one.
As long as it's only that. So yeah. Anyway, and then so I went to the doctor and got referred to the gender clinic, and then
what is the gender clinic?
So it's basically, you've got a few gender clinics around the country. So I'm referred to the one in Leeds. You can get referred to Sheffield, Newcastle, somewhere in London.
There's none in Manchester.
So they're setting one up in Manchester that's sort of a gender clinic, but
right.
sort of not,
okay.
as far as I know. So it's basically, you go to a gender clinic,
okay.
get all your diagnosis and stuff like that, and then any sort of treatment, so like hormone injections, laser hair removal, hormone monitoring, you'd go to the Manchester one,
okay.
instead of travelling all the way to like Leeds.
Right, so you can do the actions or the treatments
Yeah.
in Manchester, but the diagnosis needs to be done by... is it a gender doctor? Is it an endocrinologist?
They're like a psychiatrist.
Okay. So it's all the psychological assessment?
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically, so at the time there was an 18-month waiting list, and this was in June 2017. There's now nearly I think there's like a 3-year waiting list, maybe, to even get your first appointment with the gender clinic.
Okay.
So I did this thing, what's called a bridging prescription, where in between your referral and seeing the gender clinic, you can get on hormones. So I went over to the Wirral. Do you know the Wirral?
Yes.
Yeah, which is like across the River Mersey, in case other people don't, because a lot of people don't, and it's not worth knowing. But
the Wirral's a shithole for
it actually, it's like if you want to go back in time to people who, if you want to see Brexiters, that's where you go. Like, you
want to see people that are over the moon and think Boris Johnson's doing a great job, go to the Wirral.
Exactly. If you want to see the Christian protesters who turn up at Pride, go to the Wirral. Half of them aren't Christian, they just want to fight.
They'll hold a cross and stab you with it if they need to. So why did you have to go to the Wirral? That was gender clinic in the Wirral.
No. Could you imagine?
You're a fucking boy!
Could you imagine?
You're a wizard, Harry! The Wirral Gender Clinic. I think that's some online content that's so funny. We need to make up. We need to make a Wirral Gender Clinic.
Oh no. It'd just be the Westboro Baptist Church headquarters in the UK. So basically, in the Wirral was an endocrinologist who's like the hormone specialist.
Yeah. I've seen one.
Okay, cool. So he was the only person who could do bridging prescriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about like an hour drive from my house, maybe a little bit less. But through the youth group I was going to, I got referred to him, and then went to him in December 2017. And he was like, oh, here's testosterone. And my mum was like, because at this point, my mum was a bit like, I didn't tell her that I went and got a bridging prescription. Like, I literally told her we were going to Wirral. And then on the day, she was like, why are we going here and not Leeds? And I went, oh, because this is a bridging prescription, so I'm getting testosterone earlier. So she'd literally found out. Anyway, when we went, she was like, so is there no assessment? And he said, because I'd been attending the youth group.
What's the youth group? Is
so
it like a youth support group? Okay.
So because I had been attending that group, he knew that I wouldn't attend that group unless I needed the support, which he was right about. And I was honest with everything and told him also, like, all different things, like about how long I've been feeling this way, how long I've been sort of socially transitioning, so like, you know, coming out to people and like changing my name. Anyway, so I went to the area for the blood test, and like I said, I'm really scared of needles. And my mum went outside, and like I went and got the blood test by myself, which, it was fine because I had the numbing cream on, but it was like, oh my god. Anyway, I went outside.
Numbing cream?
Yeah, I get numbing cream.
What?
That's how I got this one. I put numbing cream on, and I'm like, I don't get the actual. I don't know. No.
I never was able to have numbing cream. But I hate needles. You finish telling your story, and then I'll tell you a fun story.
Okay. Yeah. So I went outside, and my mum was like, "Oh, like I feel like this has all come on very suddenly," which is because like I'd only properly come out to them in the last year or so because I only really knew who I was. She was like, "I think it's come on really suddenly. I don't believe you've always felt that way," which is like she's right. I didn't like, but that's because I didn't understand that I could be anything other than female, and it was ever an issue. And she said, like, I know what your nan and granddad will say, because my granddad's a Conservative and a Daily Mail reader, and neither of them groups like us. So my mum went and told him, and he was the first person in my family to say he accepts me no matter what. So there was a lot of going through it by myself. There was some going through it by myself. Like, I changed my name without her knowing.
Wow.
So I changed my name by deed poll, and then at my next endocrinology appointment, I went and changed it somewhere else in the hospital while she was in the toilet. And she was like, when did you change your name? And I was like, oh, February. And she was like, oh. I went, did I not tell you? Knowing full well I didn't. And that's when she started calling me Ben, and my dad was the same. And yeah, since then it's been fine. Yeah. And I mean, like, I had a bad bout of like mental health issues at the start of this year because I was still waiting to see Leeds. And I've only just gone and seen Leeds. Like,
how long ago?
3 weeks ago.
Wow.
4 weeks ago.
What happened? Was it fun?
Are you ready? So like, we drove up to Leeds, me and my dad, and I sat there, and they just asked me a few basic questions, and then they asked me about the like. They said, "Have you had any traumatizing experiences?" So I mentioned the sexual assault. I'd never told my dad about it. And he was like, oh my god, like, why didn't you tell me? I'll murder him, I'll fucking kill him. I was like, Dad, I've processed it and moved past it now. Like,
it's not up for you to take on this burden or this battle for me.
And he was like, if there's any issues, just please tell me, just please. And I was like, Dad, like, I was 16, like, it's 2 years ago. Yes, it still sometimes bothers me, but I've processed it and I understand what happened and I've spoken about it. Like, I'm okay now. Anyway, so they were like, because all they really need to do now is take over my hormone monitoring because I'm going for top surgery privately. Because I got an assessment privately as well. So I went down to London and paid to be assessed for gender dysphoria. So with that, I could get private top surgery. And they were like, oh, we've got your assessment here, but you need to get that reconfirmed. And then have another appointment, and then another appointment.
So does this mean you need to have private health cover?
So, no. So, I'm quite lucky that my parents are paying for my surgery. And I'm very lucky to have that, because hardly anyone has that. It's probably cost upwards of like $8,000 altogether.
Hell.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a lot
I can
of
get it
money.
on the NHS, but
It's a long way.
at this point, if I wasn't on hormones now, I'd be looking at another 3 to 5 years to even be on testosterone, let alone surgery. Now, I could not do that. And I said to my dad, like, if it wasn't for the bridging prescription and paying for surgery, I'd be dead. And that's just the reality of it.
Because you couldn't live with yourself?
I could not live with myself.
Yeah.
Like, being on testosterone, so, like, I'm quite hairy. I'm really hairy.
You're hairier than I am.
I know. And I have like a really hairy chest and stuff like that. So like that softens the dysphoria a bit because it's like, oh, you know, this is my body. It's a man's body.
Look at that. Yeah, you've got a much like thicker bit of hair. So I had testosterone when I was younger. So I was just born with low testosterone.
Oh.
So I was
same.
Yeah. So I was on testo gel. I used to rub it on my belly and on the tops of my legs. And then I used to have a pill called clomiphene. Have you heard of clomiphene?
Pills are really bad, aren't they?
Well, it was all
testosterone pills are really bad for your liver.
It wasn't a testosterone pill. Okay. What it was is a pill that stimulated one of the glands in your brain to naturally produce more testosterone. So I was rubbing the artificial testosterone on me, and I was trying to get my brain to trigger to produce more for myself. So I had this two-pronged approach, but still I just stopped it because I was like, I'm just happy with where I am, but I do have a lot of what would you say? A lot of feminine tendencies or non-masculine tendencies. Okay. Like when I laugh, I have a very high-pitched laugh. I can get to a very high-pitched voice. I don't have a very hairy body. I don't grow facial hair very well. And again, it wasn't like a problem for me where I had like dysphoria and I was like, oh my God, like I'm not a man, like I'm not manly enough. It was just like, I just didn't feel, what's the word? I just didn't feel as like confident in myself as a man, but confident in myself as Matt Shaw, if that made sense. So it was like, I was confident that I was funny and I was a good personality and I was a great guy to hang out with. But when I looked, I was like, you have this baby face, you don't need to shave very often, you've got hardly any body hair, you know, you've got a high-pitched woman's laugh, you know, like, but it wasn't like debilitating for me or any sort of like, caused me any pain, because I was just like, I'm just happy with who I was, and I knew what my offering was to people, and whether I had high or low testosterone, it didn't change my personality, if that makes sense.
And that's it. I think I think I've changed, but in a more positive way. Like similarly, where you've sort of said like you realised that you could be who you are. I think I realised that when I started testosterone. So like since starting. And especially because I've lost like 3 stone in the last year. So I've lost like a lot of weight too. So
how much is 3 stone in kilograms, do you know? Because no one in Australia gets stone.
Pounds, it would be 14, 24...
28? No, 36.
36, so it'd be 176 pounds.
What?
176 pounds? Because if it's 100... If 10... No. That's
Sorry,
not right.
No,
because I'm thinking 14 stone. I don't know why I got 14 from.
It's 36.
It's 36 pounds.
It's 36 pounds, which is about 18 kilos.
Okay, yeah, so 18 kilos.
Yeah, roughly.
So, I mean, I've lost a lot. And I think that helped as well, because I felt more comfortable in my body now. And, like, especially, like, my chest has sort of gone... It's not gone down in size, but it's, like, reduced in its sort of bigness. And, like, the fat redistribution has helped with that. And I think I felt more able to sort of be this gay camp man that I was always meant to be. And it was just really nice because, like, especially with my partner now, like, where, like, he calls me, like, a lesbian and stuff all the time. Like, he says...
My fucking Hazel calls me a lesbian all the time.
I know, but it's worse because I was one. And he always goes, like... Oh,
I've never been a woman.
And he always goes like, "Oh, shut up, Ellen DeGeneres." And I'm like, "I don't look like Ellen. Like, stop it."
You look more like Portia.
True.
I'll take it.
But like he always says to me, like, as much as like he jokes with me about it, and like he always says to me, like, "You are my boyfriend. I don't see you as anything but a man. You've got a man's body." He's more excited for me getting top surgery than I am. Like,
so what is top surgery? The removal of the breast tissue?
Yeah, I get rid of my chest.
How does that work? Do they cut it or?
So they basically, what they do is they take the nipples off and just kind of place them over there.
Okay.
Just kind of. And then the cut. So there's two ways that you can do it, but I'm getting the way called double incision because my chest is quite big. So they cut like here, take like fat out, and leave a bit. Cut. I don't know why I went like that, as if it was putting the fat like you're doing the surgery yourself.
I don't know why you need to pay for it.
Literally, my friend once said to me, "If you give me a £5, I'll do it with an axe." And I said, "Don't tempt me, because I will." Like, I was like, "Don't tempt me."
No, you can't do that.
You can't do it. But I was like, do you know? At the time, I was like, it would hurt, but I'd get a flat chest. It would absolutely kill, and I'd probably die. But at least I'd die. Anyway, and then they sew you back up. They reattach the nipple.
So you will still have quite a large like female areola, or do they
make
any adjustments?
Cut it down.
So they
like trim it down with like scissors, and then they reattach it all, and then off you go.
Interesting. So it's cutting the nipple off, then it's cutting it at the bottom, then like taking because breast, all it is just fatty tissue.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is just taking it out, and then you're just re-sewing it back on.
Yeah, exactly. And then they leave a little bit in to make sure that like you still have like pecs, because like cisgender men don't have flat chests, so it's like to leave a little bit in to kind of make
What's a cisgendered man again?
So like someone who's born male who's to identify as male.
Right. Okay.
So
am I a cisgendered man?
Yeah,
with my breast tissue.
With your breast tissue.
You can feel like because I used to be very, very fat as well, so you can grab there like that could be a breast there like that. But then when I move my arm in there, you can feel there's muscle across the pec.
Well,
there.
like here, so where just beneath my collarbone above my like breast, like I can move it, like kind of like pecs. So I'm excited to see them. But like I'm just so that's happening in December, and that's like, and once that's done, I'll be done. That's me. Yeah,
that's it.
I don't want lower surgery.
You don't want no lower surgery.
No,
interesting.
don't want it.
The lower surgery seems like it all seems very hectic.
I had a friend who went to get his so it's 5 stages of surgeries.
Do you know the process? Surgeries. Hang on, we've got 4 minutes. Can you explain it in 4 minutes?
It's basically like so the clit grows on testosterone.
Okay.
So they basically cut you open and bring that out, and kind of sew bits together, retract the bit you pee out of up next to like the clit, so then it's like together like that. Okay. And then they take skin from your arm, wrap it round to make a penis, and then you can get balls implanted, and one of the balls can have like a pressy thing that like you pump up an erection. Like, it's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
No
But
way.
my friend recently went for his last stage. I don't know which one he got, but he had like sepsis 3 times and like was in and out of hospital and like had loads of issues, and I just can't be bothered with that. No. Plus, like, I'm a massive bottom, so like it's not like I'll need a dick anyway. You know what I mean? Like, if I really need one, I'll just buy one. Like, I'll just get a plastic one.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a bottom anyway.
Like, my fellow always says to me, "You could never be a top," and I'm like, I could be a top. I was once a top, and he's like, "You cannot be a top." And do you know what? I hate to admit it, but he's absolutely right. Yeah. I'm too much of a bottom. I'm just like, can I lie down?
What? Hang on. So, what constitutes you as a bottom? Like passive and submissive and
I'm just too camp to be on top. I'd just be like, ooh.
So you can't be camp and a top.
Yeah, you can be camp and a top.
You can be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually
it's less common though.
Yeah, but usually, like, I mean, my boyfriend's, I say quite camp. He's camp.
Okay.
But you can tell he's a top. I don't know. It's just you can look at someone and be like,
can't wait to meet him and figure out what a top looks like.
Honestly,
I think I've only ever met bottoms.
Honestly, the issues of the gay community is that you only ever meet bottoms, and then occasionally you come across the top, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm taken," and it's like, no.
Top and a bottom.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so funny. I remember Brandon Craig was talking to me about this guy that he follows on Snapchat, and he was like, he's just a massive juicy top, and I was like, okay, and he's just got all these thirsty little bottoms chasing after him, and I was just like, am I supposed to get all these terms? Like, this is what I didn't quite understand what it was. But he was like, he follows him on Snapchat, and the guy just films himself just like hounding blokes, just like, and that's all.
To be fair though,
all his Snapchat.
So I met a guy on Grindr, and I think he was a top.
Yeah.
And he had like, his.
Do you put on Grindr top or bottom? Do you like put it in your profile?
Woo! And he sent me a picture of his like penis.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've never seen anything so big in my life. Like, it must be 2 of them cans put together.
What?
Huge. Like, absolutely. And I was like, and he looks like a bottom.
Yeah.
And I was like, you have ruined everything I know. Like,
no way. Bottom culture's been shut
yeah, exactly. Bottom culture could never. Like, he sent me like pictures of him like doing his husband and stuff. Oh yeah, he was married. He sent me like pictures of him like, you know, like having sex with his husband.
How old is he?
I don't know. He was like 20.
Older than you.
Yeah. The oldest I've shagged is 30.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking, and you're 18?
19 now.
19. Jesus Christ. The gay community's mental, mate.
Isn't it?
It's too much. It's too much for me. It's too much for me to figure out. I'll just stay in my normal hetero relationship.
You just
works for me.
You just stay in your straighty ways.
That's right. That's right. I'll just stay doing what's normal for me. Fuck it.
I think you're just gonna go doing what's normal.
No,
I'm just gonna be
doing what's normal for me. That's
you do that.
Yeah.
You do you.
It's too much. I can't imagine putting on a dating profile. Imagine if you had to put like your penis length on like your Tinder profile. Imagine that. Everyone will be lying.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you had to put like the diameter of your pussy as well. It's like, imagine if there was like a
measurement. Imagine I put mine on. People would be like, what?
A measurement of
how like, are you okay?
I mean, imagine if there was a measurement of like how tight you were, and it was like you could put like a thing in there, and it would be like, oh, you got like a 10 out of 20 or whatever, like whatever it was, and you put
like when people give birth and they go like, oh, you are dilated.
Your score just goes.
Can you imagine? Oh, that'd be horrible. But I feel like people would look at mine and go, what? And my penis size would just change with every new dildo I bought. What? Why is it pink? Like, why is your penis bright clear?
Why is it pink? Have you got a disease? Oh my god! If you had a pink penis, is that syphilis? Is that where the penis changes colour?
No.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't know why I'm asking you. I don't think you can ever get syphilis in your penis. It's not really possible.
Could do. Like, I worked at Ann Summers for a bit, didn't I? So I feel like I should know stuff like this. But
I forgot you worked at Ann Summers.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your knowledge of the sexual experience on both sides versed you very well at Ann Summers, and people felt like they were in safe hands? Yeah,
like I'd go to people, I'd like, because obviously we got a 50% discount, so I was like a kid in a candy shop. But more like a sexual.
You were more like a
sexual
tranny in a sexual.
That's literally me. But like, I'd always show people like rabbits and stuff that obviously come in like vaginas, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I've got this one. But I could see they were all just being polite, like, yeah, and obviously in their head they were like, what is going on with you?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? Are you okay? Like, where are you shoving this?
Where are you shoving this? Everywhere.
Wouldn't you like to know? I could just see them being so confused by it, and I was just like, do you know what? I'm just going to keep going and keep talking about it. And you can suss it out in your own time.
This is what's normal for me.
Yeah, exactly. This is how I experience sex. I had to, and then it was, I don't know what's worse about it, like, you know, showing people toys that you use and they're so confused, or the one time I had to explain to a woman old enough to be my grandma what an orgasm is.
What?
I had to, so this woman came in and she was looking at all like the gels that we have, so there's like a G-spot gel, cananal relaxing spray, and she said and she picked up the G-spot one and went, what's this? And I went, oh, it's like supposed to help with your orgasms. And she went, what's that? I went, an orgasm? And she went, yeah. And I went, you know when you feel
good,
you know. I didn't know what to do, because like, yeah, this was towards the end of working there.
Did they call it something else, or she just never had an orgasm?
I don't think she was from the UK, and I don't think she spoke much English, but I was still I feel like orgasm's like a common sort of.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It's probably not the first thing they teach in English class. It's probably like hello and goodbye before, like, when you're having the sex.
What, just in Italy?
And it feels good.
It's a good. It's an orgasm.
It's the orgasm. It's like the pizza. It makes you feel amazing. Oh, we've definitely gone over time. We've talked for more than an hour. But have you had fun?
I've had fun.
That's good. I've had fun too.
Good.
Is there anyone that you want to thank Any love that you want to give out?
No. I don't know. I
thought maybe Charlotte Cropper might get a mention.
Oh, she did. She did. Talked about it with the Fringe.
Yeah, but give her some love.
Yeah.
Come on. She's a nice girl. I like Charlotte.
I love Charlotte. She's an absolute babe. Love you, Charlotte. Just love you. I'd like to thank, I think, my partner for being pretty cool and for, calling me a lesbian and making me doubt my masculinity. I love that.
Good. You and me both. You and me both.
And yeah, just everyone who has been in my life thus far.
Good.
Yeah.
Just a blanket thank you.
Thank you.
No specifics from Benton today.
Just thank you for being all right people and, not committing a hate crime against me.
Good. That's good. That's exactly what we want.
That's all I want.
No hate, just love and acceptance.
Exactly.
Well, Benton, thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you.
And best of luck with the remainder of your young life.
Thank you.